Lance Hall here for Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Happy to have a couple of members of Bark with me, a couple of brothers actually, Jorn and Ward, drummer bass player for Bark. How are you doing, gentlemen?
I'm doing fine, and you?
I'm doing well. Album came out November 11th, Rambler of Ian's. Great album. I love it.
Thank you, man.
You guys have got to be happy with some of the reviews and some of the talk, the buzz that you're getting on it.
Yeah, we got some very good reviews. I think yesterday we got this amazing review from Metal Temple. It was amazed by the album in the same way that we were, which is cool because, from our perspective, it's always, of course we're going to love it. Otherwise we wouldn't have made it and put it out. But it's cool that it resonates with a lot of reviewers.
Excellent. Ward, what is your take on things so far?
Well, it's awesome to have this new album out and so much exposure that we'd never had before. Like a lot of people are discovering the band, which was only pretty much known in Belgium and Holland, some parts. And yeah, it's great to have this exposure actually and this great response. It's awesome.
I want to throw this in. The album came out on Listenable Records. Now, are both of you located in Belgium as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. We all are, actually.
Okay. Now, the album, you guys did this fairly quickly. You started recording in December of 21, finished up in February of 22. Did you have everything together, as a result of COVID lockdown, or did the process just happen quickly?
Well, the process more or less goes quickly because of Martin. He's an amazing producer and songwriter. So he shit songs for breakfast, or I don't know how do you say it. So it's really just a matter of cutting down the weak ones. It lets everything here to us in a raw form, and we just go say those are the ones that we love, and then we start working from then. It's really raw material, and then we all get together and we make songs out of it, and that pretty much goes fast.
Now, this was recorded at the Bark Room in Antwerp. Is that one of you guys' home studios?
It is our studio.
It is your studio. Okay, very cool. So quite close to home and everything. So obviously you guys were able to be all together at the same time in the process of this. I'm sort of not used to this because so many bands have said, yeah, we traded files because of everything. But were you guys actually together for the whole recording process?
No, really. Yeah, Martin always sends the files to us first, and then we make already a kind of a selection what we like and what we don't like, and then we work on the stuff we like. Sometimes Martin is like kind of a shop for songs. Actually, we like the Emperor. Go like this one's great, this one's a bit less, and then we work on it. But not that we're in the entire time together. No, not at all. Actually.
But we are together with Martin. We're not recording at home and then sending it to Martin, if that is the question. I don't know what the question is. So we all get together with Martin at least, but not so much as a band. I sometimes visit Bart during drum tracks and the other way around and gang vocals and stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was kind of talking about the recording process. You're not in the same room together playing. You're sort of separate, doing your own things.
Yeah, we all record separately.
Okay.
And sometimes we visit. It's like a process, but it's like takes 1 or 2 months. The red wire is Martin. He's always there, and anyone who wants to join jumps in. But for example, when I'm doing my drum parts, most of the times I'm just there with Martin, but Jorn oftenly passes by, or the other guys as well, and vice versa with the other recordings with their instruments.
Yeah, it's really easy going. Like who has time, who wants it, like day to day. If Martin says I'm here, somebody wants it, somebody wants to record some, and I go, yeah, sure. Or Bart goes, yeah, I can do some drums, and then we're all free to join because it's our studio. We can do whatever we want, whenever we want. So it makes it really at ease. We're not time pressured for money wise, or we don't have to pay a lot for the studio and stuff like that. So it makes it really relaxed.
Excellent. Jorn, you talked about how Martin seemingly, I think the quote you used was shits out songs. I read where he said everyday life can be turned into a song. You know, has he come with you with something that you would never expect, you know, that he's created a song out of?
Oh yeah. Oh man, yeah, the first album, yeah. You know which song I'm gonna take? Day of the Witch.
Oh,
Yeah. So Day of the Witch, the song of the first album. It's about really witchery. It's about a friend we know who paid a lot of money for
good
for some
karma.
sorcery, to drive away witches, and we were talking about it, and it was we kind of have debating on it, and the existence of spirits. There were some skeptics, there were non-skeptics, and that funny debate became a really excellent song that we will really love to play live still to this day. So it really can come from any fucking place. Like just this discussion about, does it make sense? Does it not make sense? Are there ghosts? Are there not? Are there, spirits or no? It was just that, and then it turned on into an excellent song.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm going to pick out a few of the songs that I've made some notes on. Whoever wants to jump in first, feel free. We'll start out with the title track, track 1, Rambler of Eons. To me, that's a solid kick-ass opener. What can you give me for details on that one?
But you could say it. Some details. This is the title track for good reason, because it's really an emotional track. I don't know if you can feel it, but this is a kind of homage to the voice of dog, because Pato Larralde is an Argentinian. Hi, Martin is here.
Martin is joining.
Yeah.
Cool.
You can use those questions anyway then.
Yeah. I'm going to start off, and Martin is going to finish this. So Pato Larralde is the guy who you hear on the previous 3 albums with all the Spanish vocals, and is this Argentinian legend singer that Martin actually, grew up looking up to this guy. And he passed away right after COVID, and it was a very surreal, unreal situation. So when I talk about a song can come from anywhere, like just a discussion about witches, you could bet your ass that something profound like this is going to warrant a song as emotional and high-driven as Rambler of Eons really is. So this is quite an homage to Pato Larralde. And you can feel it in the lyrics as well. At a certain point, he was being kept alive, and Martin was struggling with it too. And then from a certain perspective, a friend of him said, you have to let him go. We're keeping him here because we don't want to let him go. And it's somewhere in the album as well, and in the title track as well. Just let me go. And it's a really powerful, emotional part of the song. And when you know the backstory, even when I'm saying it now, I'm getting kind of goosebumps.
Yeah.
You can really feel the story in the song.
Excellent. Martin, welcome to the interview.
Thank you. How you doing, guys?
Good.
We're having a good time.
Glad you joined. Did I say that quite okay about Pato?
Yeah. Everything was spot on.
We were talking, Martin, how I had written that you say everything in everyday life can be turned into a song, and that sort of fascinated me. I like that.
Well, it's true. Sometimes I hear an engine of a car or a machine, and it sounds like a rhythm that's a cool rhythm, stuff like that. Yeah. Anything can be turned into a song, You just have to be aware of your surroundings.
Mm-hmm, definitely. What we were doing, Martin, we were breaking down a few of the songs on the album. I'd made some notes on a few. We had just tackled Rambler of the Eons. Did you have anything you wanted to add, or Jorn covered it all?
No, I think Jorn was very spot on.
Okay. Track 2, Underworld. Talk about being pummeled from the get-go. Then it's like, holy shit, we're going to go even faster. But then you got like another tempo change. This was a fantastic track to do. You guys are killing it on this. Who wants to jump in on this one first?
Well, Underworld was, I think, the song that suffered the most changes. I think we changed it even during the recording process, we changed parts of it, because, we have this way of composing sometimes that we get too attached to a certain structure or something like that. But we had a lot of really really well-structured songs, like in the sense of Beatles structures, like the verse, chorus, middle eight, verse, and stuff like that. And with that one, it was never really fitting this kind of a structure. And one day I remember we were with Ron, the singer, and we said, fuck the structure, let's go nuts on this one. And we started to add rhythm changes, and it started to be really cool. We said more of this, and we did, I don't know how many riff changes are there, like 5 in a row or something
at
like
least
that.
4 or 5 or something.
I was dizzy by the end of that track,
Today I was playing that one, I said, fuck, there's a lot of riffs on this one.
Ward, do you want to jump in here at all? I want to give you a chance to throw in some comments or anything.
Oh,
Well, I gotta say that
is
this song
definitely
actually had to grow on me. In the beginning, I was not such a big fan of the song, but like Martin said, it passed so many stages, and then in the end, it became one of my favorite songs actually on the album. When we come from the middle, slower parts, where we do this Black Sabbath kind of slow, groovy thing, and we then speed it up. That's one of my favorite parts of the album, to be honest. So yeah. Awesome song.
It needed that, It was not convincing in the beginning because we were too attached to a certain, thinking inside of the box way, and the song was not asking for that. So it was about to get out of the album. But then this drum night, Ron came and we started to throw stuff in there. And this Slayer part is great, the all that stuff. We just say, okay, let's just do a super headbanging middle that turns into the end of the song. So it was good. Black Sabbath is in there, Slayer is in there, everything we like. We started to just put it in there, and it's like a locomotive that never stops.
The beginning always got me, like the Pantera riff to begin with, and then a blackened opening, a Metallica blackened opening riffs. It always got to me, so that I always kept Martin. No, give it a chance. It's still unfinished. We need to give it a chance, and luckily we did, and luckily a drunken night passed with Ron, so we made this. I love it.
Track 3, Are You With Me? First single from the album. Serious social commentary, and what a brutal video to watch, Fantastic stuff.
That's the grooviest, maybe. That's a very live song,
Mm-hmm.
It was a Ward suggestion to bring up a more groove song, something jumpy. And the political thing came, if you make something like jump, jump, jump and stuff, it turns a little bit too hollow and too superficial. So it was good to put some, heavy message in there. So it's not just jumping for the sake of jumping, It's just, use your energy to do something with it,
And this is also written in the middle of COVID. Like it seemed like the world was exploding at the time, still does actually, but just trying to capture the times actually what we're trying to do with the video, I guess. But I'm really happy with what DP did with the video. It's awesome. Really caught what we wanted to say actually.
Yeah. This is our refuse resist.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Something like that. Definitely. I'm going to jump down to track 5, Dream On. Now, this is not an Aerosmith cover.
No.
Which one?
Dream On.
Aerosmith.
This is not a cover of Aerosmith.
No, certainly not. It's too bitter for that.
There's no cowbell.
Exactly.
That was one of the last songs.
Really?
Yeah, because we have this process of working that we make we put together a lot of songs that they come from different sources, from phones humming or with some guitar that is not plugged in, and at the moment I start to put together all these riffs and turn them into kind of songs, and then we listen to them, we start to discard things until we get to a certain amount of songs that make an album. But always, when we have the album more or less ready, there is this moment that we kind of think, it would be cool to have this mid-tempo song, or we need a fast song. So this one was one of these bitter mid-tempo songs, just to help the album flow a little bit, These are really things that come towards the end of at the final stages, like just for the sake of the trip, when you press play to keep you interested and to create contrasts and different atmospheres that keep you listening, and not that you say 3 songs in a row, you say, wow, okay, I listened to the whole shit. This is what this band has to offer. That's why it's interesting, in my opinion, to listen this album. So this was one of the last ones, and it's the lyric is, I think, one of the most bitter lyrics.
I was going to say, talk to me about the lyrics, because usually you hear Dream On, you're thinking something kind of uplifting, follow your dreams, life is grand. You're kind of pissed in this one.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not uplifted. It's like,
yeah, dream
doesn't
on,
matter,
asshole.
doesn't matter, you are fucked.
Yeah.
It's a very tango, I use a lot of tango imagery and phrasing and stuff like that. And there are a couple of phrases from tangos there, and I always liked it because it was so bitter, that tango. I said, oh, this goes perfect. So I literally took some phrases from that tango and put it in there, and it was just great.
Nice.
Sometimes we laugh with that stuff. Actually, Bark is all about, sometimes we're listening to a word, we say, fuck, that's mean. And we just laugh about it. It's kind of over the top.
Yeah. Track 6, Kid Giant. This was my favorite track on the album.
All right.
Oh, cool.
To me, it's so heavy, but there's a groove in this song that just grooves, and then you got that little quiet part, and then it raves back up. This is my favorite track.
All right. That was another one that War didn't like too much.
Really? I don't remember.
But it gets a lot of good comments, so I have to adjust my opinion, actually.
So I'm not the first that's commented on this one, then.
No, actually, it's one of the favorites, right?
Gets a
Yeah,
lot of
it depends on.
Yeah.
It gets quoted, yeah.
It's something that fits as well, because there is
It's
this
groovy,
thing
yeah.
about Bark that we are all about speed and Motorhead and punky and hardcore-ish and stuff like that. And actually, this kind of very slow, groovy things, I think, fit us very well. And also, the lyric on this one is one of my favorites too. It's based on a tale from an Argentinian writer called Jorge Luis Borges, that he has this tale that is this adult guy that finds his young self in a park, and they start to talk until they realize that they are just the same guy, but with ages of difference. And I always liked that concept, and we made it Bark like the Kid Giant is yourself when you were a kid, judging you to see if you betrayed your dreams. The guy is there like, did you become the man I wanted to be?
Yeah.
So with that, I think that this groovy pounding riff and groove is kind of very, it judges you a lot, it's like very powerful, so I think
And
that
also the mid part,
yeah,
is like
yeah,
this guy. It's a young one trying to learn guitar. And I remember when we heard it, it's like we all were like, are we gonna leave it in like this? It's like a sketch. Like this is the raw sketch we get when we make songs, and Yeah, leave it in because it's totally fitting to the story.
It was cool. It was very cool. Ward, what was it about this song that you didn't like? Or am I going to
Oh,
start a band
no.
fight here?
No. I don't know. Like every time you make an album, there's always songs that jump out that you really start to listen a lot, and some songs that you actually don't listen at all. And for me, Key Giant was one of those songs. But I gotta say, everybody seems to like it. So yeah, but still today, it's not my favorite of the album anyway. It will probably never be.
Right. I mean, we all have our own taste, you know.
Yeah.
So that's great. You know, you like what you like and you don't like what you don't like. It's fine, you know. If we were all the same, life would be pretty boring, right?
It's also, you know, some songs, like I told you before, some songs are really, we spend a lot of time, particularly Jorn is very good at that, at making the order of the songs, you know, and I think that Kid Giant is like an acquired taste, or maybe like what you're never gonna really like it, but I think it's perfectly in place, you know, so it makes to the experience of the album, you know, adds variety and stuff. And it's funny because you consider it your favorite, one consider it his least favorite, and you know that's great about making music, you know.
Exactly. That's what makes the world go round, you know.
Well, even though we all have least favorites, at least I can speak for myself. I also have least favorites on the album, but I still think they're kick-ass. So, you know, if we were talking about Invisible People, I would say this is my least favorite, but I still really dig the song. You know what I mean?
Sure. Track 7, Back from the Grave. I love the opening on this. It's almost like a fanfare. I can almost see you using it for like a live opener, you know, for a live concert.
We tried it on our first big gig after actually before the album came out. We tried it live, and we're kind of fond of it to start the show with it. But now we just start to play with Rambler of Aeons also as a first song and as an opener, which also fits. So now we're kind of in between which are we going to go on with. But yeah, it is a great opening song to a show. That's how I always saw the song with the band, the fanfare going on. Yeah, it's awesome.
Actually, it was supposed to be the first one. For a long time, we were thinking of opening with that one. We changed it pretty much last minute, that one.
For the album, you mean?
I still doubt. I still pity that we didn't open the album with that song. But okay,
we didn't have enough balls for
discussion.
I love Rambler of Aeons as first. But
it would have. I like Rambler of Aeons as an opener. I like this one as an opener, where it is sort of in the middle of the album, kind of gives you that little bit of breather, you know.
Well, it's the opener of the side B. You know, the vinyl version is the opener.
Right, if you're on vinyl, correct.
It ended up being kind of an opener still.
Yeah, there you go. Track 9, Dead Man's Hand. Great tune. To me, this is almost like, I was always a fan of like story songs. You know, I grew up listening to my grandparents' stereo, like Johnny Cash live at San Quentin. You know, he did all those great story songs, and other bands have done them. To me, that's what this was. Was it? Am I hearing it right? Or
oh yeah, absolutely. This, I think, it was the most the lyric that we wrote the most together. You know, everybody put something on this song. You know, a phrase or a Dead Man's Hand. I think it was from Ward or from Jorn. You came with that. With that context, you know. Oh yeah, a gambler. You know, I like all that kind of universe. You know, we have a lot of gambling songs actually along the albums. I think we always have one of those, like Roll the Dice, you know, stuff like that. And it's a very, you know, it's a very nice topic. And yeah, definitely there is a story. And one of our best written lines are there, you know, because it's like the guy is like a gambler that is addicted to gambling. You know, it's a guy that really has a problem with it. And it says things like, when you bet the future of your child and stuff like that, it's like very grim and it's not really cool. It's a deep topic, and I knew a couple of gamblers like that. That is like a drug addiction. It's something really tough. And there are a couple of great written lyrics in that song. I'm happy you feel it that way because it's definitely a story.
Yeah, great tune. The tracks on here, you got tracks like, Back from the Grave, Messiah from Hell, Dead Man's Hand. I read where you said this album was super connected to death. Is that just a subject you guys normally, choose or write with, or was some of this sort of COVID related where for, a year and a half, all we saw was how many people were dying? Did that have any influence on it, or was it just a total different thing?
It's always there. I think in all our albums, it's a very it's a topic that is always gonna be there.
Yeah.
But it fits with the music, and but as we said before, everything can be a bark song. We can talk about anything. But in this case, it was very close by. There were a lot of people that die around, and that influenced the stuff a little bit. But Messiah from Hell, for example, is nothing actually. It's very fictional topic. It's a metal song, let's say.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of songs about death, but it's not really about COVID death. Without COVID, it probably would have been pretty much the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's one song about COVID, which is Back from the Grave, but it's not really about the deaths of COVID. It's about us playing live, live music, which was in a comatose state, and the phrase there, like it doesn't matter to them, but means all to me. It was like all those politicians talking about
them.
Yes, like music and Martin took it personally. But it's nothing to you, but you're taking away my life. It's everything that we're doing all day, where my life centers on.
Yeah, because all of a sudden we had all these idiots, like government people saying, "Oh, you are not essential. You stay home. We don't need you. Who the fuck are you? You stay home. And what do you do when you stay home? You put a fucking CD. You put a fucking movie. You read a book. That's where the artists are non-essential. So it was a huge fuck you to all this. You're non-essential. The pandemic really brought the worst to the surface, from these people that look at you from above and think they can put you labels like non-essential and get away with it,
Yeah. Well, these comments, Martin, lead me right into the last song I had to talk about, which is "Fuck You Is My Etiquette." Let's talk about that.
Well, yeah, that's a song about people telling, "Oh, this is right, this is wrong," Hey, but well, my etiquette is how about "fuck you," and your comments and your advice and stuff like that. But we are very diplomatic in the the fuck you can come in many ways, but in the end it's gonna be a fuck you.
Yeah, very cool. I gotta ask Ward and Jorn this. I'm sort of fascinated by this. Being brothers, have you guys played music together all your lives, or has it come later in life, or how did it come about?
No, pretty much all our lives. I started to play drums already at the age of 8, 9. Started to play with a friend of mine's brother who played guitar, and Jorn was a little guy coming into the room, looking up to the guitar basically, and picked up the guitar himself. We were always playing at that time, because of the older guy, we were always playing Metallica songs and AC/DC songs, only those two bands. And Jorn picked up the guitar and learned it so fast, became such a great guitar player in such a fast time. It was amazing. So yeah, we've been playing together since we can remember, basically.
I remember him, playing Thunderstruck with one hand. I was like, Fuck. I'm gonna quit my childish activities, watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or whatever the fuck I was doing. I want to do that.
Used to play the trombone actually before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I sold the trombone and so that was pretty much it. From 11 years on, it was nothing but Metallica, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, the Iron Maiden, Sepultura, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so basically, yeah, we played together and then we played covers and then we kind of lost track of each other, for, I don't know, about
10 years?
10 years or something. We were kind of drifting apart without ever being bad blood or something, but kind of lost touch. And then Wart was playing in bands and I was playing in bands too. And then, we were growing back together, started seeing each other more. And then, Bar came along and it was like out of the ashes of Aguardente, which was a band of Martin and Wart, it became Bark, and Wart picked up the phone and said, "You want to play bass?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to play the bass with you." Even though I'm a guitar player, I don't mind. So from there on, we were back together, and that's been like 10 years ago. So we've been always together, but there's been a gap between us. It's kind of a really romantic Hollywood love story, if you kind of want to put it like this.
Very cool.
This is like the Abbott Brothers 2.0. just not as legendary. It's not like local. Local Abbott Brothers.
It's funny you mentioned that you played the trombone because Rex Brown was All-State in Texas in the tuba before he started playing bass. Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah. And if you stop,
I feel validated.
And if you stop and think about it, Texas is a big state. There's a lot of bands, high schools and stuff there, and to make All-State, that's pretty good in Texas,
Yeah.
He doesn't like to admit it, but it is there,
I don't like to admit it either. It's only because what said it.
Martin, give us a little bit of your backstory. How did you begin, with your singing, and how did you meet up with these two?
I started playing guitar like long ago. I don't know, but it was something like that, like Wart said, going to, I wanted to be a football player, a soccer player, as you Americans call it. And I was really working towards that. And then I went to a rehearsal of a band from a friend of mine. They were older than us. And I totally died for electric guitar. I bought a guitar. I didn't go to training anymore. I quitted sports, and I had bands in Argentina. I did a long time there with bands, and then I came to Europe, and I met Ward like probably a couple of months after I arrived, and I started to play in the band that he had with our previous guitarist, Aguardente, and just playing a lot, I started to do sound for bands too, to produce records. Basically just focused on music.
Yeah.
It's a very short way to put it. It's a lot of years,
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah. Very cool. So the album's out. Do we have any more videos coming off the album?
I was thinking today, guys, we should make like 3-4 more videos because you have all
so you hear it here first, Lance. We're gonna get more videos.
Okay. Excellent.
We were thinking the other day, Martin, remember that we were saying the Dead Man's Hand, like you said, Lance has his Johnny Cash vibe. We were saying this could use a kind of country western kind of video clip, but
that'd be awesome. Yeah, we're talking about that.
Exactly. You all could be sitting in a bar playing cards,
Exactly,
Cowboy hats and boots and spurs,
Yeah.
It's not a matter of budget also, it's not that easy to make videos.
No, it's not.
Even though the Rambler of Films video was probably, the budget was 5 pizzas, But we are lucky that we have this guy, David, in Spain, that he can make really awesome videos. And maybe we sit down, think of a good storyline, and make some videos. There is potential, there are really great songs like Dead Man's Hand could be a very, very nice video with a nice story.
Yeah.
You can always make a kind of live video, with live footage when we start playing a little bit more, collect a couple of images. I like videos. I personally like the songs become a little bit more in your face, I like this thing of connecting the visual thing with the music.
Very cool. Speaking of live, do you have anything lined up as far as dates, any tours, anything like that? Are you going to be sticking to like festivals?
Well, we just switched from agency, so things are moving forward, but we can't quite comment on it yet. So
okay.
For now, there's not too much set dates, but believe me, there will be good things coming ahead.
Hey,
there's a plan. There's a plan. So we're kind of on the verge of being too big for the underground and maybe being too small for the commercial route. But we're on the verge. We just have to get over the hump, and then we're good and we're solid.
Cool.
We have a couple of dates coming, eh?
Yeah, there's a couple of things coming up, and we're going to do
it's coming.
So things are moving, but we just have to wait and see how much they're moving.
The thing is that we have to get out in the Benelux, what is Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. We are a pretty established band. Our goal is to move towards Germany, towards France, and that's what our label wants to. To take us out from there and expand
towards Japan.
Now the album is going to be released in Japan. All this is being talked. We have already some dates in Germany confirmed, so it is moving. The thing is that it's really not normal yet. The music business, it's not easy. For example, you see a lot of bands canceling tours because of the fuel cost. It went double, and a nightliner uses like 200 liters. I don't know how many gallons is that, but 200 liters every gig. So it's a fucking shitload of money, So it went. What was, I don't know, 5,000 euros for gas, now it's 12,000. All of a sudden. So you have to be very, very careful with how you diagram your tours and stuff like that. On top of that, because of the war in Ukraine, energy got really costly. It got a lot more expensive. There are venues that they don't open their doors because they don't want to pay the electricity bill. That is where we are at now. So it's moving really slow. We were talking with our agent, and he was saying that this is unprecedented. There are things going on that we never faced. So we have to be careful. It's not moving as fast as we would like to, but we are not the only band suffering from that.
Definitely.
And many bills, from festivals, they are still fulfilling contracts of 2 years ago when COVID was, and there were many festivals that they had it booked and they had to cancel it, so they pass it to the next year and they had to cancel it again and stuff like that. So they are still dragging with these bills for 2 years. So it's not really easy. It's not really how things were. It's not easy going, but we are managing. Fortunately, because of the last gigs we did, a lot of agents are coming. They saw us live and they are offering gigs and stuff like that. So we're still being lucky, but it moves much slower than we would like to.
The other thing I've read about, I know it's happening over here in the States. I don't know about how over in your part of the world you talk about fuel costs and stuff like that, but getting help, finding drivers, finding roadies, finding people to work in the venues has been hard as well. Are you guys having that issue over there?
Not us, but we hear it from other bands. Unfortunately, for now, we have top roadies and top sound engineers who are very loyal and dedicated to us, or actually are good friends and are very solid roadies and sound engineers. But other than that, other than us being lucky, we hear stories about other bands having exact same problem as you just mentioned.
A lot of people quit it because of the insecurity.
Right.
It's just not very safe to be in not only music, in theater, everything that is arts, performing arts in general. Well, it could be that tomorrow your gig gets canceled, so
Right.
people started to go. I know a lot of sound guys that became postmen and stuff like that, because it's safer, because it's essential,
Yeah. Right. Fascinating conversation. Been chatting with Ward, Jorn, and Martin of the band Bark. Their album Rambler of Eons is out right now. Where do people go to pick up the album? Are you guys able to sell it directly yourselves, or they have to go through a third party?
It goes through a
Listenable
very
records.
listenable,
Listenable Records? Okay.
yeah, listenable records, the online shop, and it's delivering all over the world. I think we don't have a US edition yet, but Japan is having actually next week they are releasing our album in Japan with a Japanese edition that looks awesome. There's gonna be some Latin American edition soon, I hope, if that goes. But yeah, if you want to get it in America, go to listenable.com, I think, to the shop,
.net, but
and you can order it.
Okay. Cool. I usually like to wind up with some silly questions. I'm going to stick with just two since I've got three of you. And I realize the first one that gets the question has a disadvantage over the last one because the last guy has a chance to think about it. So, Ward, if you could pick a television show to place a tune off of Rambler Vians in, what show would you pick?
A television show to put the Ramblers of Vians.
One of the songs off the album.
One of the songs.
One of the songs of the album. I would say this time traveling thing. I would say Terminator movie would fit the song. I would say one of my favorite movies, anyways.
Definitely. Jorn, how about you?
A television show.
Yeah.
I was thinking about goofy television shows like Wheel of Fortune. I was thinking, what song could possibly fit?
You could be the new Jeopardy theme.
Well, Dead Man's Hand would be a good one for Wheel of Fortune, actually.
It would be. Very good.
So there you go.
Martin, how about you?
Fuck you is my etiquette on Family Guy.
Love it. All right, this is the one we have the most fun with, and I'll start with Martin. If they were to make a biopic of your life, what actor would you pick to play you? And it's your movie, your life. You can pick anybody.
Whoa. Marlon Brando.
Excellent choice. Jorn, how about you?
Oh man. I would have to go with Brad Pitt. Don't laugh yet. Because I'm a huge fan of Fight Club, and that's gotta be my favorite movie of all time and one of the best performances of all time, which is really essential for a lot of nihilism into the lyrics, by the way. So there you go.
All right. Ward, how about you?
Ron Jeremy.
All right.
Black hair and a mustache already, so yeah.
You played into this perfectly, Ward, because I saw a young lady there and a screen with you in the beginning. Sometimes it's fun to get the significant other's take on this. Is she still around so that she could give her answer? Who she would pick to play you? Would it be Ron Jeremy?
She doesn't know who Ron Jeremy is, I guess.
All right.
That's what you think.
So she says.
That's what she said. Who do you think she would pick? Is she still there?
Ron Jeremy, probably.
That's a great answer. Great answer. Well, gentlemen, this has been a lot of fun. Once again, we've been talking with Ward, Jorn, and Martin of the band Bark. Don't forget that new album, the new album Rambler Vians, out on Listenable Records right now. Hopefully things get back to normal. You guys have safe travels and all your shows is sold out.
Thank you.
Thanks for the
Thank you,
chat,
brother.
lads.
Thanks for your for your support and for helping us spread our music in the States. And thanks to everybody that listened to this.
It has been a hoot. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, same
All
to
right.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Yeah.